All right, kind of the third part of this worksheet is looking at pea plant traits. That seems like a weird thing to do, but it worked for Gregor Mendel, and these traits all follow Mendelian inheritance patterns, meaning they are all either completely dominant or recessive to each other. And so there's all these different things like round seed, yellow seed, and so on. And so let's look at the question 13. What is the phenotype if the genotype is big T, little t? Well, big T, little t. So that looks like it's a plant size trait. And if it has at least one of the dominant alleles, it will have the dominant trait. So the phenotype is tall. What about the next one? Let me erase those. Big R, little a, little a. So we're going to have two phenotypes we're talking about here. Big R is a round seed. And little a describes if the flower is coming off the terminal end or off the axial. Well, little a would be terminal flower location. Okay. What if we went the other direction and we were given the phenotype? What could we say about the genotype? So here we're given a homozygous purple flower color. So flower color, homozygous purple would be capital P, capital P. Heterozygous axial and green seed color. So two traits here. Heterozygous axial is the A. Heterozygous means one of each. Green seed color. That would be this one. And the only way to get green seed color is to have little y, because if you had a large case Y, then it would be L. Short plant with wrinkled seeds. So again, this is kind of the same idea. Short would have to be little t, and wrinkled. Again, another recessive, so it'd have to be little r. You couldn't have a capital version of those. Pure breeding, remember I mentioned this earlier, pure breeding means same thing as homozygous. So pure breeding tall is homozygous tall. Pure breeding short is homozygous short. Heterozygous, homozygous. Okay. More practice, and so now these are, again, more of the kind of word problems that you'll see. So using the pea plant traits. Show the cross of a pure breeding tall pea plant. So first step we have to do is, again, determine the genotypes. Pure breeding tall is homozygous tall, and tall is capital T, so pure breeding tall is capital T, capital T. Short. Well, the only way for a plant to be short is to have both lowercase t's. So remember, we take those alleles, split them up, because the reproductive cells, the gametes, will split those up as well. And then we bring the letters down and across. And in this case, all of the offspring probabilities are going to be 100%. And the phenotypes, well, that's going to be tall because it has at least one version of the dominant gene or allele. Homozygous round seed shape crossed with heterozygous round. So homozygous round would be big R, heterozygous round would be big R, little r. Offspring genotypes and percentages. So I have a kind of a 50% chance of this, and I have a 50% chance of that. Offspring phenotypes and percentages, well, even though the genotypes are different, they both have at least one capital R, so it's a 100% chance that the offspring will have the round trait as the physical expression of the genotypes. 23, another cross here, heterozygous yellow seed color crossed with heterozygous yellow. So you can just double check. Yellow is Y, and heterozygous would be big Y, little y, and that's what they both are. I'll try to show them more dramatic here. So big Y, little y, big Y, little y. Okay, there's actually, looks like 3 genotypes. There's that genotype, there's that genotype, and there's that genotype. So we have to make sure to show all 3 of them. So 25% chance of big Y, 25% chance little y, 50% chance of big Y, little y. And then the phenotype percentages are a little different than that again. So these 3 all have a big Y. So those 3 would all be the yellow. And then this one is the only one that's not. So 75% chance, it's kind of sloppy there, that it's going to be yellow, and a 25% chance that it's going to be, I guess green, right? Yeah, green seed. Question 24, short flower crossed with short flower. This is going to be super easy because short is little t. And so that's all you're going to get. Kind of a boring one, but it's easy to do. 100% little t, 100% short. Okay, this is the very last question here. Awesome that you made it this far. 2 tall pea plants are crossed. Okay, this is a little different one. Out of 22 offspring, 17 are tall and 5 are short. Okay, so the short ones are definitely little t. Tall, we don't know. It's either big T, or big T, little t. What are the likely pea plant genotypes? So parent 1 and parent 2, it wants to know what are the genotypes of the parents. Well, if you have any short offspring at all, you have little t. That means that each parent had to provide a little t to the offspring. So we know for sure that each parent has at least one little t. And it also says in this word problem that the pea plants are tall themselves. 2 tall pea plants are crossed. Okay, well, that means that the parents also have to have the dominant genotype, or dominant version of the gene, so the dominant allele. So the parents have to both be big T, little t. And if you were to do that Punnett square cross, then it would show you that with a heterozygous cross, you're going to get a 75% chance to have the tall phenotype. Well, 17 were tall out of 22. That's close to 75%. Okay, and you're going to have a 25% chance to get the short genotype. Well, 5 were short out of 22. Well, it's not exactly 25, but that's because, again, we're just talking about what do we expect, what do we get? All right, so we got close to expected, but we didn't get exactly. So there is some deviation there. We're not going to calculate it. But you can also work that way, where you just get the numbers and just have to think, okay, you know, there's enough clues in the statement to give you the answer. You have to think it through, though. I actually really enjoy these types of problems, kind of fun logic problems. So that's it for this week. And next week we're going to go a little further. We're going to do look at traits that are on the X chromosome. So gender traits, not gender determination, but gender traits, meaning some traits like color blindness, trait for blood clotting disorder called hemophilia, those types of traits that are on the X chromosome, where guys only have, biological males only have one X chromosome, and biological females have two X chromosomes. So we're going to look at those types of traits, and we'll also look at traits where we cross multiple things. So like, what if the plant was tall and had round seeds? Let's do that cross. So we're going to have a couple combinations. So great job. Talk to you next week.